Hey man, welcome back to this YouTube channel. My name is Salvador Briggman, and on today's video, we are getting into new GoFundMe tricks and techniques which you can use to get funding. So if you want to get donations on GoFundMe, if you want to get donors to actually fund your campaign who you've never met before, if you want to use crowdfunding as a way to get funding in the door for things like personal costs, medical bills, memorial funds, travel costs, volunteering, education, you name it, maybe even for a business, this is a great way to do this. And I want to share some tricks that you can use. You can steal them, you can take them, and hopefully you go out there and you actually impact the world for the positive as well. But let's get into it in today's video. So I want to start off strong coming out of the gate, and that's really because I am passionate about crowdfunding. I've been in the industry since 2012 when I started my blog, crowdcrux.com. I put out a lot of high quality education on this channel and also through my blog, my podcast, my books that I've written in this industry, my free courses, etc., on the subject of personal crowdfunding and really raising money for those kinds of costs. So the first one is a new trend that I think that if you hop on today, is going to have a massive impact on your launch when it comes to GoFundMe, or if you are already live. And this kind of goes back to one of the existing tenets that I talk about in my free course on GoFundMe, which is this idea of storytelling. So the way in which you can get strangers, people you've never met before, to back your GoFundMe campaign is through storytelling. Because with storytelling, we start to imagine ourselves in someone else's situation in life, and we can start to actually empathize with that person. There are characters that you've seen in movies and books and film, right, that you've actually really empathized with, and in some ways have even changed your life. And when we see news stories or we see stories on YouTube, or as I'm going to mention in a second, this new video format, we start to empathize and we're even willing to help them. So of course, I don't know, drum roll please, what I'm really talking about is short form video content. And this is on fire. So if you do not yet have, for example, an Instagram Reels, a TikTok, it could even be something short form with on X, on Facebook as well, you need to begin to think about putting out short form content to really talk more about the need that you have when it comes to GoFundMe, and showcasing that if you can through video content will really, in my opinion, check that box of having a lot more credibility about what it is that you're talking about. And just think about this for a second, play a little game here with me. If you really just imagine, even in the last couple of months, you probably have seen a video that has gone viral via short form content and have a outpouring of support, people leaving comments, people sharing it, and people donating on GoFundMe if they really believe in that person's story and they want to make an impact in some way, because that's what defines a GoFundMe donor, someone who wants to make an impact. So I actually break down exactly how to do this in my book, Crowdfunding Personal Expenses, which is available on Amazon. You can also listen to it on Audible when you're going to work, on the way to the gym, as you're cleaning, right? Whatever it is you're doing, you can actually listen to my book, Crowdfunding Personal Expenses, on Audible, and you can learn more about how to construct a story that's going to get people to feel something towards your current situation, but also to step up and decide to do something about it, which I think is one of the most important elements of any GoFundMe crowdfunding campaign. Numero dos, or number 2 on my list. And I say numero dos because I actually have been learning more and more Spanish. I'm adopted from El Salvador, so I didn't start learning Spanish until I was much older in life, but I've been really enjoying that experience and I'm getting a little bit better when it comes to my Spanish. But number 2 is that you need to assemble a team on GoFundMe. So you couldn't always do this, but now you can actually have a team of people on GoFundMe displaying on your GoFundMe campaign page that are helping you raise money. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, first of all, statistically, and I'm not really, it's kind of boring, right? Statistics and numbers, but I do think it's important. Statistically, you're going to raise more money if you raise money as a part of a team and you have people that are helping you out. Number 1, it's going to add a lot of credibility to what it is that you're doing. Number 2, those people that are part of your team, they have friends, they have family, they have their own social network, right? And those people are more likely to donate to your campaign if it comes through the messenger, which is that team member, versus if you tried to go to their friends and their family and you tried to convince them to donate to the campaign. It's going to be a little bit of a harder ask and a little bit more friction. What having a fundraising team does is not only it gives you social proof, which is a marketing term, but also it gives you more virality because you have more people that are checking out your campaign, and also on social media, people that are commenting on those posts which you're putting out there when it comes to your GoFundMe campaign to launch. launch. Now, the important thing that I gotta say when it comes to this trick with GoFundMe is that you need to be willing to coordinate that team, because I've actually had coaching students, and I have people who have read my books and taken my courses, etc., that go out there and they try to do a team fundraiser, but if you aren't willing to coordinate that team, it's like you have a bunch of chickens with their heads that are cut off that are just running all around, right? You wanna make sure, that's a horrible visual now that I think about it, but you wanna really make sure that people are organized, that people are beating to the same drum, that they're moving in the same direction, that they have the same access to, for example, social media posts, which they should put out at a specific time, that you coordinate this, maybe even with a little bit of a calendar to get everyone just on the same page. You gotta make sure you do a little bit of communication there. Number 3 is one of the ones that's the most profound one you're gonna hear in this video. And if you have been liking this content, come subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up on this video so other people know it's worth their time. And if you're ready to make a change in your life for the positive, leave a positive comment down below so that other people know you are on a new journey and you're gonna use this experience to move forward in life, whatever has happened to you. So this next tip, I can sort of sum up with one word, and that word is injustice. Now, you've probably noticed this, but whenever an injustice happens in this world, there are heroes that step up to actually not only fight evil, but to also right that wrong. So for example, a homeless man who something really horrible happens to him, people see it on a social media platform, or they see it on the news, they see some kind of injustice happening, and they're willing to step up to actually give money to that individual's GoFundMe campaign, or to help them out in some way in life. When we as a culture witness an injustice happening, we gotta do something about it, because we're good people. So when it comes to your campaign, and again, don't use this unethically. I'm really only talking to people who have like a legitimate need here, because this can be used for evil, of course, right? If you really have a legitimate need and you want to be able to tell your story, think about in what way was an injustice, how did that injustice occur? Can you tell the story behind that so that other people understand and realize that? And more importantly, can you spread that story in any kind of meaningful way? For example, even contacting a local reporter, or getting your local network involved, or a local organization. Is there any way that you can spread that story of injustice that might actually be a microcosm of even a bigger trend which is happening in society? A great example would be, there are so many natural disasters out there. There are fires, there are floods. The world is being turned on its head, right? If you are one example of an injustice happening within a larger trend, this is a great way for you to tell that story and to really humanize that so that people can help and they can feel much better as well that they're making an impact in the world. Think of this as not just telling a story, but kind of giving that story legs, as we like to say in the writer's sphere, kind of making that story be turbocharged, pouring gasoline on a fire which is already starting. It's really about having the wind at your back when you incorporate a couple of these elements into that storytelling, because it's a much bigger audience than if you just told that micro story. So it goes beyond the scope of this video, but I do have a course out there called the GoFundMe Cash Machine. Now this thing is like a war chest. It's all of the templates, the worksheets, the tools, the techniques that you need to really crush it with your GoFundMe campaign. And I'm gonna be honest, for like 99% of the people, this is not the right fit for you. But if you are part of that 1% that really wants to go big with this campaign, and you're ready to invest in the process, just a small investment in really making sure that you dot your I's, you cross your T's, you have your foundation right, and you build something that can reach a larger audience, you definitely gotta check out my course, the GoFundMe Cash Machine, because it will change your life. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillment is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillment today. Link in the description. Number 4 in this list of tricks to get GoFundMe cash, or get more money, or get more donations on GoFundMe, is to make use of the tools that are at your disposal. I can't tell you the number of people that just kind of use the tools that are available on the GoFundMe platform. You don't want to stop there. Other people out there that I'm working with are using tools like Bitly links. Bitly links allows you to even create a QR code so that people can scan this going directly to your campaign page. In addition, using Bitly, you can see the direct traffic of where people are coming from as they're discovering your actual GoFundMe campaign. So it allows you to get more intelligent about your digital marketing strategy and be more aware of the actual channels that are working well, that are driving you traffic, and to do more of that. So you need to use tools to upgrade your launch process, because if you do, it's almost like you're head and shoulders above other campaigns that are out there. A couple of other quick ones I'm going to mention here would be, number one, having a launch countdown of some sort as you're going out there and you're warming up your friends and your family and your first degree and second degree connections going into a launch. Number two would be an easy way that people can add your launch on their calendar, so they get a calendar or a text message notification when you go live with your campaign. The next one would be using AI technology. It's so easy nowadays to get a campaign together because you can use the power of AI technology, which I do talk about, of course, in my course as well, the GoFundMe Cash Machine. There's a lot of easy tools which you can use to speed up this process and to be more successful. A final one that I'm going to mention is even using a tool like Opus Clip to be able to cut up a longer form video content that you have, to be able to create a couple of shorts automatically, very easily. So you don't have to go out there and try to video edit and do all that stuff to create the short form content around your cause. You can very easily do that using a simple tool. Okay, the next one in my list, I know I'm gonna get pushback from, so I'm really not talking to the haters. I'm not talking to the people that are like, this is horrible, why would you even mention this? This isn't gonna be used by other people. I'm really just trying to help people, and I'm really talking to the people that do wanna have a profound impact and wanna have everything at their disposal when it comes to that. So I call this strategic social capital, and it's a different way of thinking. So I really invite you to open your mind just a tiny bit right here. And I also use the word tactical empathy. So within our life, we have many different resources. One of those, of course, would be money and time. Another resource that's rarely talked about is social capital. Think about this. There's probably someone that you know in your life or in the course of your life who has lots of friends, family that's really involved in different local networks, or maybe even their church or religious organizations, and they have a lot of social capital. And when they ask for something, there's many people that they can draw on who can help them out. Well, if you're really short on, let's just say, one resource like money, or really short on another resource, when it comes to your life, maybe you're not in the best, living this best area, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to have low social capital. You can decide to change the way in which you interact with people in your local community. So I would invite you to get more involved in your local community, whether that's attending groups, it could be around a specific cause, it could be religious organizations. You want to get more involved in your social community and to start to actually volunteer a tiny bit of your time. Start to build relationships, start to help people out, start to show up, and to begin to have almost like a little bit of a brand within your local community. You can even use websites like nextdoor.com to be able to get to know that local community and some of those neighbors which you have. Now, I'm telling you, I do have some coaching students that are like, Sal, I don't want to do this. I'm not very social. I don't want to put myself out there. It's kind of scary. I'm just not like that. I'm kind of more of a grumpy person, right? Like, I get it. Dude, I am so grumpy when I haven't had a cup of coffee, even when I'm waking up in the morning, and I don't always want to be social necessarily myself. But you want to think of it from a strategic and a tactical angle, because that social capital element is going to be it's going to be an incredible foundation going into that GoFundMe campaign, because you can draw from that. And it's specifically, if this is a recurring element in your life, if you're having issues, over the course of this year or over a couple of months, being able to have that social capital can really help you. And you want to think of it almost as a resource. So why not start investing in your social capital today? Why not start getting to know your neighbors, your friends, your local community, and actually contributing something positive, whether that's good vibes or just helping out in small ways, or even people just knowing your name and introducing yourself and beginning to form some of those connections before you need to draw on them. So my teaching style is not for everyone. I'm obviously a passionate guy and I think about things a little bit differently than other people. But if you do enjoy the content that I put out, go down below and join my free course on GoFundMe, because I go step by step through the tactics, the tools, and the strategy to hit it big with your crowdfunding campaign. It goes beyond the scope of this video. In addition, if you do want to invest and move forward in your life, and you want to have access to this war chest of tools and tactics, almost like done for you, right? When it comes to launching this campaign, and also some of the things that that many people don't know about going into their launch, go and check out my course, the GoFundMe Cash Machine, because that is literally going to be one of the best investments which you make this year. I virtually guarantee you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. Come subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. Leave a positive comment down below and keep learning, man. Keep being a sponge. I think that sometimes we get down on our luck sometimes, or even if we're doing a campaign around volunteer efforts, it can be a little bit disheartening when you feel like you're just kind of talking to an echo chamber and no one's really listening to you. But remember that people are always listening and people are always watching. It's about putting out that good energy, knowing how to tell your story, understanding how to do the marketing, and most importantly, being willing to be persistent about it because it's for a really great cause. Thank you so much. My name is Salvador Briggman, and I'll see you next time.